Time now for the morning rush. An Albuquerque man is scheduled to learn his fate today for the brutal murder of his grandmother. Drake Bickett and his mother, Alyssa Bickett, they pled guilty to second-degree murder and the death of 65-year-old Marilyn Gander last year. Gander was in the process of evicting the Bicketts. Drake Bickett faces 30 years in prison. Erica.
Well, here's the weather pattern over the next couple of days. It's changing up a little bit. This is how it has been. The moisture streaming in from the Gulf, causing a lot of rain on the east side of the state and flooding. But today we're going to start seeing a trough push to the east. That's going to shift the wind direction, and the wind is going to start coming in from the west, bringing dry air across the state. So expect drier weather for the entire state today. Only an isolated chance for showers in the southeast corner. Crystal.
Cleanup continues in southeastern New Mexico after severe flooding there. However, schools are expected to be back open today. Lake Arthur, Hagerman, and Dexter schools were all closed yesterday. Video from Sky's News 13 shows State Road in Roswell turning into a river. Some areas so deep people had to be rescued from their stranded cars. We expect to learn today who was at fault for a deadly pedestrian crash. The crash happened near Central Pennsylvania just before 9 last night. The road is back open today. Not clear how the pedestrian was hit or if the driver will be cited.
This morning we are showing the bizarre footage of an 18-year-old pretending that he is a deputy. Last month, Brendan Wazinski was driving along 4th Street near I-40. He says he pulled over a speeder. That's what he told police. Now, that's when an APD officer just happened to pass by. Now, Wazinski first told the officer that he was an off-duty deputy, but then confessed to buying his badge online. His trial is scheduled for next month. A New York Times report claims that President Trump once suggested shooting migrants in the legs after they crossed the southern border. Now, the president reportedly made the suggestion during a March meeting with senior staff members. The Times says the president called for a shutdown of the border with Mexico, but reportedly passed on the idea. There's no comment from this morning from the White House. Looking ahead, a meeting is set to be held to discuss a state senator's plan to give juveniles sentenced as adults the chance for parole. Senator Bill O'Neill says there are a dozen of inmates who committed murders as minors but are behind bars for almost life sentences. He says there's at least 41 inmates in that situation. O'Neill says that he will not move forward unless he has bipartisan support. Erica.
Let's take a look at the Metro Threat Index for today, keeping it very low because weather is expected to be very nice. There was a small chance for some showers, but we're waking up with nice clear skies over the metro this morning, so that shower chance looks non-existent anymore. Could be a little bit breezy at times with winds up to 15 miles per hour, but other than that, nothing going on.
What's happening right now? State police are working to determine if they found the crash site of a missing Colorado plane in the Pecos wilderness. This after 2 unidentified bodies are discovered. The NTSB will likely be on scene later on today, trying to identify the tail number of that plane in hopes of matching it with the aircraft last seen on Thursday.
Happening now, kids are heading off to school this morning and many are choosing to walk. It's all to celebrate National Walk to School Day. And the event is to raise awareness for the need to create safer routes for pedestrians and for programs like Santa Fe's Safe Routes to School program.
On special assignment, News 13 found the newest scam aimed at property owners. Many people receiving a letter that looks like it comes from the government, but it's not. It's a private business called Property Profile. They ask for your money in exchange for public property records, which are free.
There are now new rules for getting a NonReal ID driver's license. Now, applicants only have to provide 1 document to prove their identity and age and 2 documents that prove residency. The NonReal ID is not valid at airports or federal locations, but it does allow you to drive.
An Albuquerque neighborhood is safer this morning because a good Samaritan was at the right place at the right time. Adam Gates saw 2 men trying to rob the Circle K at Osuna and Jefferson. He had his gun ready and ordered them to the ground when they ran out. The driver, Angelo Garcia, was arrested. Erica.
Now let's get a check on traffic this morning. All the maps are looking pretty green, just some minor slowdowns near Paseo and I-25 and the Big I. Our news tracker is out this morning, headed east on I-40 near the Coors Interchange, looking like it's moving right along.
Well, new this morning, 2 iconic Pennsylvania companies are teaming up, Hershey's and Yuengling. They are collaborating on a chocolate porter. Beer is Yuengling's traditional dark brewed porter and enriched with Hershey's cocoa and syrup. It will be available on tap starting next month in the 22 states where Yuengling is available, except New Mexico.
Aw, you're going to have to travel out of state then.
Yeah.
On this day, October 2nd, 1983, there was major flooding. Deja vu. People were evacuated from their homes in Catron County, and there was damage to property, levees, and highways. There was about $14 million of damage because of 5.45 inches of rain that fell. Sounds familiar. Time now for the 5 facts.
At number 5, fall is definitely in the air with the annual opening of the Galloping Goat Pumpkin Patch. That's in the west parking lot of the Santa Ana Star Center. Now, families can choose their very own pumpkin from the on-site patch, even enjoy a corn pit, harvest maize, petting zoo, and even go pumpkin bowling. The patch is going to be open every day from 9 to 5 until Halloween.
Number 4 now, we now have the police lapel video the night that they say they caught up with an 8-year-old man pretending to be a deputy and making a traffic stop. Last month, 18-year-old Brendan Wazinski was driving along 4th Street near I-40 when he told police he pulled over a speeder. He first told police that he got his badge legally. Then he said he finally got it online.
At number 3, we've had some very high rain totals over the past 36 hours. 6.5 inches in Lake Arthur, 4.5 in Clovis, 4.29 in Roswell, 4.04 in Pleasant Hill, and 4 inches in Portales. We've got a lot of rain that's fallen and more coming down.
Number 2 now, the Albuquerque man who brutally killed his grandmother is set to be in court to learn how long he'll spend in prison. Drake Bickett, his mother Alyssa Bickett, pled guilty to second-degree murder in the death of 65-year-old Marilyn Gandert last year. Gandert was in the process of evicting the Bicketts and their friend. Drake Bickett faces 30 years in prison.
At number 1, a family still pleading for anyone with information on the shooting death of a teen to come forward. Family and friends shared stories about the Sandia High School senior at a vigil last night. Police say that Sean Markey was shot and killed early Sunday morning at a home. This is near Montgomery and Eubank, where a group of teens were gathering for a homecoming after party. Now, APD has not said if there are any suspects in the case. Meanwhile, a funeral for Markey is set for sometime next week.